final one to round out this first installment of the summer 2024 prospect rankings, we've got Mikey Milne. And I know this is one that, again, we all kind of sat in a pretty similar range, high teens, low 20s, but we're probably going to be saying about a lot of the guys that played in Iowa last year. Just not a great year for such a young group to go through what they went through, and it impacts our view on all of them.
I'll say I went back before the last day or two. I went back and just tried to refresh my memory on because once the year ended, I really wiped so much of the Iowa Wild season out of my memory because it was. There were nights it was legitimately unbelievably painful to watch, but I kind of had to do a double take. The fact that he finished the year, he played 40 games and he had 21 points. He's over half a point per game, playing in middle six role. Played with pretty good line mates throughout the year, but it kind of spoke to the exact player he was in the WHL as well, where it was they drafted him as an overager, but nothing that he does in terms of the skill set and style of play stands out all that much, but he just manages to make himself such an effective player wherever he's used in the lineup. And there is some offensive upside there. He's got real nice skill, but he plays a really good two-way game as well. And then just an undersized guy that is an absolute fucking bulldog. And when he got drafted, the commentary around him was he's pretty much some kind of version of a Connor Dewar. And it's just a very apt description. So I really like Mikey Milne. Again, I went with the ceiling route in terms of why I put him at 24 versus anywhere higher. But he does play a very projectable game. It's just whether or not he gets there in this prospect pool. That's going to be, we'll have to see. But I really did have to do a double take when I saw that he was just over half a point per game. And unfortunately, it's a compliment to be he was only -1. He was only -1.
I know, I said the same thing when I was going through the list. I was
every guy was that. Poor fucking O'Rourke was a -30. So that tells you where his ice time was deployed.
Yeah. Connor Dewar was the exact player I was going to bring up. Even if it's actually kind of, so if you even look at their stats. So Connor Dewar's last year, flash in the WHL, 81 points, 36 goals, 45 assists. Mikey Milne last year in the WHL, 38 goals, 43 assists, 81 points. Milne had 13 points in his first year. Dewar had 14. There's even down to the stats, these two are very similar. They play really similar style of game for me. And I love Connor Dewar. There's nothing wrong with having a guy that projects to be a good fourth line player. To me, that's a good player to have in your system. And I think he's trending in that direction. Again, for me, just kind of with the work, I just think that's kind of where his ceiling is. So I couldn't put him above some of the players I have ahead of him. But a guy I like, and I think will, in a couple years down the road, we'll see in maybe that fourth line.
Yeah, doesn't make a lot of glaring mistakes either. Just plays a good, solid game, good
Simple.
Two-way. Yeah, simple. And I had the same reaction as Z did when I was going through. I was oh my God, he actually played pretty damn good last year, all things considering. So I was actually impressed.
Great chirps, by the way. Phenomenal. Just loves to chirp every time. If he's on the ice and a goal is scored, he is saying something to the other bench on the way by. It is A+ stuff. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that aspect of this game as well. So he's absolutely making every single one of my top 25s forever.
Of guys who played at least 40 games for Iowa last year, he was second on the team in plus-minus. If we're looking at plus-minus as an important stat.
I'm being on that fucking team.
For Iowa, it actually kind of is a little bit important.
Well, I don't know, Brett. I thought you were an analytics guy. What else do you care about besides plus-minus?
Well, if they had advanced statistics for the AHL, it would be easier to talk about, but they don't. So at least not widely available.
You got to bribe AHL TV for those bad boys.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
It wouldn't surprise me if in 3 years some teams are buying out natural stat trick and evolving hockey and just taking away everything that is good in the world from fans.
Bro, if the evolving hockey boys get a good payout, I honestly would be excited for that.
It would be hard not to be excited for those guys. To be
as long as no one buys the rights to hockeyfights.com, Isha's
Dude,
Actually,
honestly,
wait,
no.
you have
Can I
beef-
just
you have
say
beef
this?
with them? You have beef with them, though. Actually,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, fuck hockeyfights.com,
All right,
dude.
there
I
we go.
hate
Never
those
mind, I
fucking
take it
son of
back.
the bitches.
I take
Fuck
it
those
back.
guys, dude.
Yeah,
Anyways.
no, we're not going to do that right now.
I don't remember what it was. I think it was Graeme Clarke. Someone said he brings a punch, and I'm like, oh fuck, Isha's looking for the Kirkland lube right now.
Good thing we can't see below the belt for you.
Yeah, hand check. No, don't actually. No. All right. Well, shit, boys, that rounds it out. We just got through the, I guess, back end of the top 25, 21 through 25. Again, rounding it out, we've got 21 Mikey Milne, 22 Ryan O'Rourke, 23 Graeme Clarke, 24 Calem Parker, 25 Luke Toporowski. Next week on podcast, we'll be dropping 16 through 20.